a a week after my first interview with Trax, I had my first interview with Eddie. The
Okay.
first time I met Eddie from Harlem Bling, it was a complete opposite. Like when I first saw him, I wasn't shy at all. I spoke like this. I wasn't as I. Me and Eddie were always talking back and forth on social media. We had each other's phone number prior to us meeting in person, so it felt like we were already friends.
Right.
So it wasn't really like we had to introduce each other. It was just we were just seeing each other in person, but it wasn't like I was like we already knew a lot about each other, and he already knew I was a fan of his company, and we spoke with Max. We didn't talk much off camera before we started recording. I didn't talk. I immediately took my phone out and started like talking to Max. With Eddie, we spoke for about 20 minutes off camera, and it was completely natural. I spoke to him the way I'm speaking to you, and it felt like it was two normal people talking. When I was talking to Max, when I every encounter that I had with Max, it felt like this. It
Right.
felt like there was like a power dynamic, and his tone of voice and the way he spoke at you, it reminds you of like, hey, you should be lucky to be here. That's the vibe I
Right.
got from him. With Eddie, I forgot that he was like that he's a jewelry owner. Like he was just
Right.
talking to me like he was talking about his family. His mom was there, his kid was there. They walked off to stroll through like Central Park while me and him sat in the car to do the interview. And the raw footage of the interview was almost an hour long, but I edited it down to about 20 minutes. And there were certain things that he didn't want in the interview, and I respected it completely. All of that stuff was out of the interview, and he liked it. It was good, loved it. Shortly after the interview, Eddie sent me a bunch of stuff for me to review, and where I was actually planning on seeing Eddie tomorrow, this Sunday, in person. We're gonna meet up again. If not tomorrow, it's gonna be this week. But with Eddie, it's the encounter was completely different. It was I didn't feel that at all. Now, with the first time I met Max, he didn't do anything wrong. He was actually being very nice. But there was a gut feeling. Something inside of me was like, I don't know. I was like in my head, I was side eyeing him. I felt like I was like giving him the side eye a little bit. I didn't know why at the time, but now I guess maybe it was just I kind of deep down knew like this guy's probably gonna yell at me at some point. With Eddie, I didn't feel that. I'm not saying my opinion of Eddie could change next month. Maybe he
Right.
might be a different person later, but just as of right now, just me and Eddie talk like about every 2 days. We text each other like almost every day.
Right.
And whether it's his beef with Hip Hop Bling or him with TJ or him with anybody, me and Eddie talk back and forth. It's more natural. Trax and I only talk to him when I'm going to his store, which is once
Right.
in a while. That's pretty much it. So the exchange between those two is very different. With Eddie, I immediately know like when meeting him in person, when he's yelling on camera, because Eddie made a few videos yelling and beefing and shit on camera. That I was like, obviously a character. Because
Right.
I didn't get that at all. The way he was talking to his son, very loving father, this guy. And the way he was talking to his mom, very respectful. He's like a very family oriented person, and I
Right.
can tell. And he even admitted it to me. I don't know if he would be okay with me saying this or not, but I mean, he said it before on camera. It's a cat. He does it for entertainment purposes. He doesn't actually. He's not naturally a loud, obnoxious person.
Right.
Um, and I found it just kind of funny how Eddie's been married for a long time, and Max. I asked him on, and it's in the Q&A video. I asked him about what his relationship status is, and Max admitted on camera that he has trouble with women.
You know, I'm trying to get some space from women. They're terrible.
All right.
They're dumb.